That matters.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, Mr. Steele has provided to us in that Dropbox link an exhibit that I assume he may intend to use with Mr. Copeland, and it's going to be Exhibit 236A. It's a Instagram posting. I believe the posting may have been on June 27th of this year, in which Mr. Copeland appears post, he is an innocent man in real life. The demons that has been on me at certain times in my life had full control. And he goes on, I think I know who he is the innocent man that he might be referencing, Your Honor. I'm not sure how this is going to come out during Mr. Copeland's cross-examination. However, the state's concern would be the initial part of he is an innocent man, and that's invading on the province of the jury, depending on what he is innocent of, or determining from this post what he may or may not be innocent of. I'll cite the court to Fordham v. State, which is 352 Georgia Appeals 520.
From what year?
2019, Your Honor.
Okay.
And essentially that Georgia law generally precludes a witness from testifying.
Slow down.
Sorry.
Georgia law what?
Generally precludes a witness from testifying as to his or her opinion regarding an ultimate issue in the case, because to do so would invade the province of the jury. And so if you're trying to say he's an innocent man, that could be perceived that you're trying to invade what the jury ultimately has to decide about Mr. William or any of the defendants' guilt or innocence. And so I'm just bringing to the court's attention, I don't know how it's going to come in, but that is the state's concern regarding this posting.
Mr. Steele.
Your Honor, I could get a case, but lay people, by the way, can comment on an essential element. Impeachment. I believe that Mr. Copeland, and I don't know what he's going to say. I have not spoken with him, but I believe that he has targeted Mr. Williams in that posting on June 27, 2024, saying that my conscience caught up with me if and he's an innocent person. I believe that that can go to the jury the way it was said. I don't see any problem with that. It's a prior inconsistent statement because he's telling the jurors through 2015 video, audio, that Mr. Williams is the reason that the person's dead. Mr. Williams gave the order to kill Mr. Copeland, that all these people work for Mr. Williams. So I believe that it's critical, his state of mind. And the jurors obviously go to weight. I understand there's a 9-year difference, but it goes to weight.
Okay, so how is this a prior inconsistent statement? This was made subsequent to everything that I may just not be following you.
I understand. Prior inconsistent statement is anything prior to the trial of the case, but I could get you that case.
Okay, well, this is in the midst of the trial of the case.
Prior to testimony.
It's not prior to all of his testimony either.
I don't think it matters. You know, if he said to someone on the way in here, hey, what I said on the 2015 about being at the green store is not true, that comes in for impeachment. I asked him about it, then I could put up the person who he said it to. It does not matter. It's a prior statement that is inconsistent with what he said. So I feel very comfortable that that is the law. I tell him
it's not a prior statement. It can't possibly be a prior inconsistent statement if it's not a prior statement. This is not a statement he made prior to any of his 2015 statements to law enforcement.
Let me get you the case, but
Okay.
It does not have to be prior to the statement that you're impeaching. It's a prior statement of that witness. He made a prior statement on June 27, 2024 that is inconsistent with his previous statements, but I can get you those cases.
Okay, I don't know that it's inconsistent with his trial testimony, though. He's testified at trial. Everything I said to the police, I just said it because I wanted to get out of there, and none of it was true. So this is not inconsistent with that either.
Well, it is for two reasons, or I believe it's admissible. One, he's saying that what he said was about an innocent person, which is different than I just wanted to get out. So I was saying some truth and some non-truth. And second, it impeaches his 2015 statements.
It may do that.
And that's admissible. But let me get you a case instead of just me saying it's prior inconsistent statement.
Okay.
Let me just get you a case.
All right, was there an objection other than,
Yes, Your Honor, because I don't believe it's a prior inconsistent statement based upon his testimony in trial. He made this post the beginning of his testimony. So he made this post, if it's on June 27th, he started testifying initially on June 6th, June 7th, before and he testified all the way up until June 17th, prior to, that testimony not being included. And this is after that on the 24th, which this is consistent with what he said on the stand repeatedly to this jury over and over and over again, that I lied on Thug. Thug hasn't done anything.
I was just asking you, did you have an objection beyond or in addition to that? I didn't know if that was everything you were saying or.
That's it. Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And then, Mr. Shart, did you have something?
Your Honor, it is my belief that Mr. Steele plans to play a phone call that Mr. Copeland is on with his sister. That I believe it's marked Jeffrey Williams 250B. My concern is from 1605 to 1629. There is a comment made by who I believe to be Mr. Copeland's sister, stating that she has heard that Shannon got shot at because he killed Nut, is close to the quote. It's based on speculation and hearsay. It's obviously very prejudicial to my client. So I would ask that if Mr. Williams, or if Mr. Steele, on behalf of Mr. Williams, is to publish JW 250B, that the times between 1605 and 1629 be redacted to take that segment out.
All right. Any response, Mr. Steele? Any objection to that part coming out? No. Okay. Thank you. All right. Anything else? All right. Any other matters?
I'm finding you that case. Should I do it on the break?
Okay. All right, then let's get Mr. Copeland and the jury in. Thank you. All right, you may proceed, Mr. Steele.
Mr. Copeland, do you remember saying on, when being asked questions by Ms. Hilton, that Mr. Turner or Threat asked you to go with him, and you and Mr. Turner fired ammunition or bullets into the barbershop of Rich Homiequan's father? Do you remember that?
Can you ask me again?
Yes, sir. Do you remember telling the jury that you and Mr. Turner, Threat, went to the barbershop of Rich Homiequan's father and fired bullets into that barbershop?
What about it?
One more time.
What about it?
Do you remember saying that?
Out of frustration?
Yes.
Yeah.
And when you did that, do you know whether there were people inside that barbershop at that time?
I don't recall.
Do you remember telling District Attorney Hilton before you started to testify on Friday, June 7, 2024? I asked you this before, but I'm going to ask you again, okay? Before, when you first came into the jury to testify, before June 7, 2024, so before that date. Do you remember telling District Attorney Hilton that there was a video of you and others saying, "We killed Nut," may exist? Do you remember saying that?
I don't recall.
Did you tell District Attorney Hilton that?
Did I tell her what?
That there's a video with you and others admitting that you killed Donovan, Nut, but Donovan Thomas?
I can't remember if I told her.
Okay. All right, let me go into this. I want to ask you about Jeffrey Williams, or JW, (240P) as in perfect, and that states exhibit number 378YE. So, Mr. Copeland, that's going to be the June 10th, 2015 interrogation or interview with the police. And it's at 248:22 through 248:57. And this goes into you stating that when you pulled up, you told Deshawn's your child's mother, right? That's her
Right.
name? Okay. That I was like, she got in the car, she was at her friend's house. This is on January 10th, 2015. You're recounting. She got in the car. You said, "Man, these ends just killed Nut, bro." She like, "Who?" I told her, "It's Thug in them." She like, "Huh? What happened?" Like, SHI, I don't know. D just got in the car and like, SHI, boy, they just, you know what I mean? They just told me that. So she like, "What you gonna do?" "What the F you mean what I'm going to do? I ain't got nothing to do with this, SHI." She like, "Yeah, you know, like we all know they was gonna say my name, so I was like, I don't know, so we got in the car and we rode home, okay? I'd like you to listen to, make sure I said that right, if you don't mind listening.
Y'all ain't got his son. So my puppy told what his son was like. She got in the car. She was at her friend's house. She got in the car. Man, he need to chill that, bro. She like, who? I told her. She throw it down. She like, huh, what happened? I said, I don't know. DJ got in the car like shit. But it, you know what I mean? They told me like that. So she like, what you gonna do? What the fuck you mean what I'm gonna do? I ain't had nothing to do with this shit. She's like, yeah, you know, like, we all knew they gonna say my name. So I was like, I don't know. So we got in the car. We drove home.
Did you hear that? Did I say it accurately?
Sound like it.
Okay. And, do you remember telling the police that, and then they spoke with Ms. Quarterman or Deshawn? You're aware of that, you said earlier, right?
They did?
Yeah, you're aware that she would call them for you, text message them,
Oh, yeah.
collect calls. Never corroborated or never asked about that, right? As far as you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. All right. Your Honor, may I have 1 second?
Sure.
I apologize. Sorry about that. Thank you, Your Honor. Okay. The next one, we discussed already, I believe. No one ever, you told the police that on June 10, 2015, that from the McDonald's, me and him get on the expressway, boom, and they are following y'all in the Nitro, asked the detective, and you said, yeah, no, they told us to follow them. So y'all following them, the detective said, and you said, yeah, but when D told me this, O-H-E-L-L, no, I ain't fixing to follow them, but D didn't get out of the car with me, but I'm trying to trick D so I can see what the H-E-L-L is going on. Boom, so we followed them to Thug's house. They stayed downtown at the Sky House. I'm going to play for you, make sure that's right. Jeffrey Williams of JW240Q, State's Exhibit number 378YE. It's the June 10, 2015 interview. It's from 9:58:12 to 9:58:39.
So we gonna get on spell. Wait, are they following y'all? Yeah, Nitro? Nah, they told us to follow them. Okay, so y'all follow them. Yeah, but when you told me, hell no, I ain't gonna follow them. But I had to get in and get out the cover. I'm trying to keep these, I see what the hell going on. Boom. So we followed them to the drug house. They stayed downtown on the Sky House.
What I said, was that fairly accurate?
He said, I told you. I heard it, but man, I have to tell the police anything.
And the truth is, you didn't follow Jeffrey Williams to Sky House.
I don't remember that night. I don't. So much going on. I don't know what happened that night.
When I say followed to Jeffrey Williams' Sky House from the McDonald's,
What I'm saying is, so much what happened that night. I can't say I was all over the place. I don't remember exactly what happened that night.
let me ask you this. Did you ever drive by at any time, the scene where the barbershop is, where Donovan Thomas was shot and killed? On January 10th, 2015.
What you mean?
Did you, at any time, I understand there was a lot going on, but did you drive by the scene, you know where Donovan Thomas was shot? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
In
I know
front
what
of
you're
the
talking
barber house?
about.
One more time?
I said, I know what you're talking about.
Okay. Did you, on January 10th, 2015, drive by that street where he was shot?
I can't recall.
Okay. Let's do this. Did the police, detectives, federal, anybody, district attorney's office ever come to you and inquire of you whether or not your phone records show from the McDonald's area, cell phone tower, to the Sky House? Whether did they your phone records to see if it tracks what you told the police?
They never told me nothing about my phone at all.
Okay. All right. I want to talk with you about the meeting with Detective Thorpe. So it's about 7-8 hours after the shooting of Donovan Thomas, January 11th, 2015. Your Honor, this is Jeffrey Williams, or JW 241D, as in David. And this is State's Exhibit number 378YA, as in Elisa. It's 3:18:50 a.m. to 3:20:42 a.m. And Mr. Copeland, if you could just listen for this, and if I said it wrong, just tell the jurors I got it wrong. You're in with Detective Thorpe, January 11, 2015, and Detective Thorpe is asking you, who is Walter Lee Maddox? And you said, who? Walter Lee Maddox, the detective said. You said, I don't know. Nickname? Detective said, did you all ever rent or own an Infiniti? You said an Infiniti. Detective Thorpe said, did you all ever rent or own one of those cars before? You say no. You deny it. Detective Thorpe said, have you been stopped in an Infiniti before? You said, have I? No. Detective Thorpe said, have you been stopped in an accident in an Infiniti? You said no. Detective Thorpe said something, I don't know, you could tell us if you can recognize it. You said, have I ever had a car break-in? No. Let me think. You talk about this year? Detective Thorpe said, anytime. You said, I had a car break in a Pontiac. That was a couple of years ago. Detective Thorpe asked you, what kind of car does your brother drive? You said, a white Dodge Charger. That's the truck he gave me. You said, Detective Thorpe rather said, does your brother got two cars? You says, nah. His girl got a car, and the car he got, the Dodge Charger, and she got the ugly little Malibu, like 19-something. Detective Thorpe said, a 2014 Dodge Charger. You said yes. Detective Thorpe said, white. You said yes. Who drives a Nissan? Detective Thorpe asked. You said, a Nissan, what color? Detective Thorpe said, it is gray. You said, I don't drive no Nissan. Detective Thorpe said, okay, y'all ever have an Infiniti Gray Q45 before? You said a truck. Detective Thorpe said no. You said a car, not that I know of. I want you to listen to this. If you don't mind, tell me if I did that wrong.
Who's Walter Lee Maddox?
Who?
Who's Walter Maddox?
Huh? No
Y'all-
nickname?
Did y'all ever rent or own an Infiniti?
Finn.
Y'all ever rent one of those cars before?
Mm-mm.
Have you ever been stopped in an Infiniti before?
Have I?
Yeah.
Okay.
mother drive?
Who was that in there? A white Dodge Charge. This truck car he gave me.
Your brother got 2 cars?
Nah, his girl got a car, and the car he got the Dodge Charge.
Oh, okay.
Then she got the little ugly little Melody, like a 19 something.
2014 Dodge Charger?
Yeah.
White?
Yeah.
Who drives the Nissan?
A Nissan? What color?
What color is it? Gray.
I like that one. Nissan.
Okay. Y'all ever had a Infinity Gray, a gray Infinity Q45 before?
A truck?
No.
A cup?
Yeah.
That I know of.
Were you able to hear that, sir?
I think we all heard.
Okay, similar to what I said?
Huh?
Similar to what I said?
I guess.
Okay. Mr. Copeland, you referred to Detective Thorpe as a squirrel brain. Do you remember that earlier in the testimony? Do you remember saying something like that?
Yeah.
And by approximately 3 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, January 11, 2015, so within 8 hours approximately of Mr. Donovan Thomas being shot, Detective Thorpe is asking you specific pointed questions about you in a rental gray Infinity sedan. Do you realize that?
You said, do I realize it?
Yeah,
What you mean?
that's what he was doing. You understand that he was asking you about a rental Infinity within 8 hours of the shooting of Donovan Thomas.
Right.
And you denied any dealing with an Infinity vehicle rental, right?
Right.
And that's not true, right?
What you mean?
You were dealing with a rental Infinity vehicle.
I was?
Yeah, weren't you?
I don't recall.
The car that you were driving that Jeffrey Williams rented for you was, do you know that type of car that was?
Objection, assuming facts not in evidence.
Or he testified to?
What about him renting the car for him?
Sustained.
Okay. The car you were driving that you announced that you gave to Threat or Mr. Turner, do you know what type of car, rental car that was?
No.
Okay. Okay. Did the police ever come back to you and ask you about Walter Lee Harvey again? To your knowledge?
I still don't know who that is.
Okay. Did the police ever come back to you and talk with you about wrecking that 2015 Infinity vehicle, besides this?
No.
Now, you have used other people's, like when other people rent cars, you know Miss Quarterman's mother rented cars, allowed you and Miss Quarterman to use, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Just do me a courtesy, I apologize, but for the court.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And that would be in Miss Quarterman's mother's name, the rental car. You're aware of that, right?
Right.
And I want you to listen to, if you don't mind, J.W. Jeffrey Williams 240R as in righteous, states exhibit number 378YE as in Aaron. It's also June 10th, 2015. Meeting or interrogation by the police, 11:33:17 a.m. to 11:34:10 a.m. And I'm just going to tell you and just make sure this is what it says. You said that I didn't break in these cars. I wasn't even with them. I just gave them the car. Detective said, but you said, but for what reason though? Because they was going to do some stupid SHI blank to get some money. Detective Dennis said something, I don't know what it is, so you could help us if you don't mind. You said, I knew they were fixing to go. Detective Gaither said, You knew they were gonna do a job. You ain't what exact job it was, and then there's overlapping, meaning everyone's talking at one time. Detective Gaither said, but you know what an effing job is? You said, I just. Detective Gaither says, you know they ain't going to church. You said, I was just looking at like SHI. I ain't doing it. I ain't getting in trouble behind it. That's how I was really looking at it. Detective Gaither says, but you're still effing up Deshaun. Because if something else would have happened in that effing car, that truck is in her mama's name. Detective Dennis said, what if they did a robbery? You said, like I told them. Detective Gaither said, and it's the first report. Detective Dennis said, right. Detective Gaither said, we found. Detective Dennis said, we ain't even check. And you said, what I'm saying, no. What I'm saying, I already told them. I said, look, y'all, this car is Deshaun Mama name. You feel what I'm saying? I just said it like that. I said, it's in her mama name. She's gonna tell the police if y'all do anything. I did it. And I'm saying, y'all, I ain't going down for nobody else. I told her just like that. Just listen to it, make sure that what I said was fairly accurate.
That ain't her fault that you did that. No, I didn't break any car. I wasn't even with them. I just stayed in the car. But for what reason though? Because you knew they was going to do some stupid shit to get some money. I knew they was going to go. You knew they was going to do a jug. You didn't know what the exact jug was, but you know what the fucking jug is. You know they ain't going to church. I know I was getting this. I just looking at it like shit. I ain't doing it. I ain't gonna get in trouble behind. That's how I'm just looking at it. But you is still fucking up their shot because something else would happen in that fucking car. That truck is in her mama's name.
What if they did a robbery?
Like I told him. And this is just the first report we found.
We can check on
What I'm saying, I told him, I said, look, y'all, the car is your mama's name. You know what I'm saying? I said, just like I said, it's her mama's name. She gonna tell the police, if y'all do anything, I did. And I'm letting y'all know I ain't going out for nobody else. I told him just like that.
Is it fair what I said? That's what you all are talking about?
That's what it sounds like.
So, even though it was, and Deshaun and you have a special relationship. I mean, you share a child or children, right?
Yes, a child.
Okay. And you're aware that her mother is renting a car in her mother's name, letting you use it, and Deshaun, or excuse me, Miss Carterman, and it's used for criminal conduct by stealing people's cell phones, laptops, breaking into cars. You're aware of that, right?
I don't know.
You're aware on June 10, 2015, when the police came to arrest you, they searched that rental car in Deshaun Quarterman's mother's name and found other people's cellular telephones, laptops, identifications. You're aware of that, right?
Yeah, after they locked me up.
Okay. And you were involved in breaking into those cars and stealing, using her mother, Deshaun Quarterman's mother's rental car, right?
Objection, Your Honor. Assume effects not in evidence.
I'm asking him a question.
I think he just answered it.
Right?
They charged me.
Okay. Why, I just ask you, why would you be entrusted by somebody? They were doing you a favor with a rental car in their name. Why would you go out and commit a crime while using someone else's rental car?
I don't get what you're asking me.
Did you ever
That
think?
seems facts not in evidence.
Did you ever think about the lives that you were affecting by committing crime in a rental car in someone else's name?
Objection, Your Honor. Assume effects not in evidence. Rule 611, Rule 24-6-611.
How about relevance?
And relevance.
Did it ever occur to you that you can get other people in trouble?
Objection, relevant.
Sustained.
All right. I'd like to talk with you about Jeffrey Williams' exhibit number 2. 240S, as in Samantha. This is at States Exhibit number 378YE, as in Aaron. It's June 10, 2015 interrogation. It's at 10:00:31 a.m. to 10:00:46 a.m. And please listen and make sure that what I'm announcing is accurate. You're talking about, if you remember, and you'll listen to it, O.G. Bentley. Do you know the name Kelvin Treadwell? Do you know O.G. Bentley by a government name? Do you know who that person is?
I don't even know who OG Bentley is.
Okay. All right. Where you said, you feel what I'm saying? This is what D's saying. Bentley supposed to went and hid the car and the guns. Detective said, where? You said, I ain't never heard it, like they just cut me off. They seen all the police just kept coming at me, talking to me. I want you to listen to this if that's what you said, okay?
You know what I'm saying? Did what D saying. Bentley supposed to went to hit the car and the guns. Where I ain't never heard. Like they just cut me out. Like they seen all the police just kept coming at me and talking to me.
Did the police or the prosecution ever come to you and say, hey, we would like to talk to you about corroborating or supporting or verifying what you told us here? Did that ever happen?
Can you say it again?
Yeah. When you're telling the police that O.G. Bentley supposedly hit a car and guns, did the police ever come to you or the district attorney's office and say, we want to talk to you about that statement and see if we could verify it? Did they ever do that?
Then I said to the police, they came back to me and asked me to verify whatever word you using. They never, after I said what I said to them, that was it. I didn't hear nothing else from them until I was back in handcuffs.
Okay. Yesterday, you were shown State's Exhibit number 22CC. Could you help me out if you don't mind? Thank you. It should be the nitro. You know what I'm talking about? Yes. This is already in evidence, Your Honor.
Right.
Ms. Person? Perfect. Thank you. If you could just blow up the Mr. Copeland, if you were shown this yesterday, this should be State's Exhibit number 22CC, as in Colette, and the state asked you about the vehicle, which should be on the left of your screen, and they identified it as a white Nitro, I believe. Do you remember this from yesterday by any chance?
Yeah, I seen it, yeah.
Now, I just want to make sure the jurors know, and if you could make it smaller. This is not the Texaco gas station that you were shown pictures of with the Infiniti and the Pontiac and the gentleman walking into the convenience store. This is a totally different gas station. Do you recognize that?
I don't know what he said.
I just want to make sure that there was clarity. Do you know where this gas station is by any chance, just from looking around? just from looking at 22CC?
You said, do I know that area?
Yeah, do you recognize that at all? From
Yeah,
that?
I know that area.
Okay. Is that in the same area vicinity as the Texaco gas station that's next to the barber shop where Mr. Donovan Thomas was killed?
No.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure the jurors weren't confused, or that we didn't confuse the jurors. Okay, thank you, Ms. Knight. Now, the state also showed you yesterday a photograph. It's 10cc, as in Colette. I'd like to show that again, and it is in evidence already, Your Honor. And if you could blow it up, if you don't mind. Do you remember seeing this yesterday by any chance, Mr. Copeland? Do you remember being shown?
I don't
that?
see nothing.
Oh, it's not on your screen? It might be, it's behind you.
Yeah, I see it now.
Okay. And the gentleman in the white shirt, kind of in the center but left of the screen, do you know that person?
No, I don't know that person.
Okay.
Try with the white shirt or the black shirt? I don't know neither one of those.
Okay. That doesn't, being shown that yesterday by the district attorney?
Let me be clear.
Yes, sir.
I see him around, but I don't know him.
Okay, thank you. But that doesn't verify any of your statements to the police, does it?
Huh?
Objection, improper question, Your Honor.
I'm not sure he can answer that question.
Do you believe that by seeing that picture of that person, whoever it is, the person you see around sometimes, did that in any way verify what you
Mr.
told the
Steele,
police?
I mean, that's basically just, you put a "do you believe" in front of it, but what he believes about it isn't relevant.
Did the police ever do anything to show you, or the district attorney, to corroborate your statement to the police? I understand what you're saying, that it was made up, but did they ever do anything to say, to try to tie it to that person? Did the police ever do that to you? Or the district attorney's office?
I don't remember. I don't know. I don't hear nothing about him.
Okay. All right. I want to talk with you about your statements to the police that Jeffrey, that you were with Jeffrey when you were getting calls from the police, okay? There was some discussion like that. And it's, Your Honor, is J.W. Jeffrey Williams 240T, as in terrific, State's Exhibit number 378YE, as in Aaron. It's again June 10, 2015. This is at 9:50:35 a.m. to 9:51:48 a.m. I'm sorry. Of course. 9:50:35 a.m. 9:51:48 a.m. And if you hear this, Mr. Copeland, just make sure that after you listen to it, I'm correct. You said, I'm like, don't worry about it, N. But anyway, long story short, the detective was calling my phone. You know what I mean? And he was right there. The detective said, Thug was right there? You said, yeah. You said, so I answered the phone, and he looking at me like this, but I don't know what's going on. Detective says, why is he looking at you like that? You said, because he see me answering the phone for them. Detective said, but at what point does Thug have anything to say, nuts murder, to be looking at you in any kind of way, like don't worry about that, like this and that? And you said, I'm fixing to give it to you. Detective said, please, we've been waiting for months. You said, no, I ain't. Guess what? I heard he was trying to kill me, but I ain't. This is what happened. I answered the phone. Hello? Yeah, this. I knew it was the detective calling. Detective said, the one that's handling the murder case? You said, no, a different detective. Detective said, okay. You said, I thought one of them was you. My sister said that. She described, you know what I mean? But she was just like a man. Detective said, right. So you said, so I just thought she was talking about you. Detective said, okay. You said, so she was like, detective's called, all right? So I answered the phone, and he's right there. So I was like, yeah, indiscernible. So I don't know what that means. I couldn't understand it. This and that man, they just talking to me. And he was just looking at me, but I ain't think, because I ain't did nothing, so I'm like, SHI blank. I'd like you to just listen to this, if you don't mind, and tell me if this is what you're saying, and I'd like to ask you some questions.
I'm like, don't worry about it, nigga. But anyway, long story short, the terrorist was calling my phone. You know what I mean? And he was right there. So, yeah. So I answered the phone, and he looking at me like this. So, well, I don't know what's going on. Like, why are he looking at you like that? Because he see me answer the phone for him.
But at what point does Thug have anything to say about Nuts murder and to be looking at it any kind of way, like, don't worry about that? Like,
I'm gonna get to you.
please, we've been waiting months.
No, and guess what? Well, I heard you try to him, but I ain't. This way, I answered the phone. Hello? Yeah, this I knew it was the detective call.
The one that's handling the murder case?
Nah, it was different detectives. I went on with you. My sister said that she described it, you know what I mean? But she was just like a man, so I thought she was my you. So she was like, detective called Ice. So I answered the phone, and he right there. So I was like, yeah, this chemical company, what's this and that. And they just talking to me. And he just looking at me, but I didn't think he could. I didn't need that. So I'm like, shit, nigga.
Answer the phone.
Yeah.
Mr. Copeland, what I said, was that substantially right, according to what you just heard?
That what it sound like?
Did the police ever come to you, or the district attorney's office ever come to you and discuss with you whether or not anything about you around Jeffrey when police are calling and his impression of it or reaction to it? They ever do anything to verify that, to your knowledge?
No.
It's made up, right?
But they said that their own mouth. You heard them in the investigation. You ain't giving us nothing. You bushing us. I mean, like, they knew what I was doing. My stomach hurt bad, Judge. I feel like I got cramps.
Can I ask you a question? Okay. This is JW 241E as an errand, states exhibit number 378YA as in Elisa. This is January 11th, 2015. This is 4:13:31 a.m. to 4:13:59 a.m. And specifically, this is you telling Detective Thorpe that that you wanted to retaliate after the shooting of Donovan Thomas. People were shooting your family's homes. You want to retaliate, and Jeffrey telling you, don't do that, let 12 handle. Okay, just listen, okay?
It's like, she said, I had went down to her house and like, see what going on. Like, bro, these folks that can't shot this young mom house. Like, for real? Yeah, I'm like, bro, what I supposed to do, bro? Like, man, get started with, bro. Let 12 handle that. 12 deal with that. That's all he kept saying. Like, man, bro, you talking about let police handle that and deal with that, bro. These folks kill my family. He just like, man, folks, God, he know them better than that. Like, them folks, man. I don't.
Were you able to hear that, Mr. Copeland?
Yeah, I heard.
And is it fair to say that you told Detective Thorpe about 7-8 hours after the shooting of Donovan Thomas that Jeffrey's reaction to all this is let 12 handle?
Say it again.
Okay. Jeffrey's reaction when you were saying that people are shooting at your family's homes, God forbid, Jeffrey told you let 12 handle. That's what you told the police, right?
Now I tell the police anything to try to get them out my face.
Okay. And tell the jurors, if you don't mind, who is 12?
Who?
Who is 12?
Who is 12?
Yeah.
Shit, they know the police.
I want to talk with you about your statements to law enforcement This is JW 240U, as in unbelievable. It states exhibit number 378YE, as in Aaron. This is 10:58:11 a.m. to 10:58:46 a.m. This is again June 10th, 2015. And Mr. Copeland, just to orient you, this is where you're talking to the police about Jeffrey supposedly wanted to have you killed, okay?
Have who killed?
Remember that?
Have who killed?
You.
Me?
Yeah, that's what you told the police. I'm going to read it, and then you tell me. Well, I'm going to say what I think it said, but you correct us. You said, it ain't none of that, it ain't. This is what only thing, when the police called, bruh, he seen me talking to them, and he just feel as I ain't supposed to say nothing. You know what I mean? He just want me to just let y'all put one on me for murder. You know what I mean? That's what he want. Detective said, and Sam called and not saying nothing. And you said, that's what he wanted. That's what I feel like deep in my heart, deep inside my heart. Like I ain't even told my brother. I ain't tell nobody that this N is trying to have me killed. I ain't tell my baby mama, you know what I mean. Detective said, right. You said, it was a feeling like when Nut first died and everybody was coming, screaming my name, seeing how nervous and scared I was. If you could listen to it, if you don't mind.
It ain't none of it. It ain't just what all thing he did, when the police called, bro, he seen me talking to him. And he just feel, and then I ain't supposed to say nothing. You know what I mean? He just want me to just let y'all put one of me for murder. I mean, that's what he wants.
And stand tall and not say nothing.
That's what he wants. That's what I feel like deep inside my heart. Like, I keep telling my brother, I ain't telling nobody about something that they trying to kill. I ain't telling baby mama. I mean,
And then I'd like to play for you Jeffrey Williams 240W. As in wonderful, it states exhibit number 378YE, as in Aaron. It's at 10:58:50 a.m. to 10:59:09 a.m. So it's right after where we stopped. So it's really a continuation. And I'd like you to listen to this and focus on your statement that, you know what I mean? It was, I got scared to be around him, be told, the truth be told, I got scared. I told my baby mama, like you can call her now, man, we gotta go, man. I think that N-Thug, like that night they shot at us, when I was telling you all that story, in my heart, I was like, darn, but it says another word, that N-Thug trying to get me killed, you know what I mean?
I got scared to be around. Be told, truth be told, I got scared. I told baby mom, like you call them, hey man, we gotta go, man. I think we do. Like when that night they shot at it. When I was telling y'all the story with it, in my heart, I just like, man, this dog trying to get me killed. You know what I mean?
Did you hear that, Mr. Copeland?
Yeah, I heard it.
So in those two back-to-back recordings that we heard, the JW240U and the JW240W, on the first one you said to the police that you ain't tell nobody that this N's trying to have me killed. I ain't tell my baby mama. And then in the second one, the JW240W, you said, truth be told, I got scared, I told my baby mama. Did the police ever ask you about that and push back and say, how do you say that?
How do you say what?
Yeah, that you didn't tell your child's mother, and you did tell your child's mother. Did they ever do anything like that?
I think they just try to make me feel comfortable. Like they just talk to me to try to make me feel comfortable to open up to them. So that's what I was thinking. I don't know. I telling people anything. I didn't care about getting caught up in the lie. But I was trying to be as convincing as possible.
Okay. I'd like to go into JW240V, as in Victory, it's State's Exhibit number 378YE as in Aaron, it's June 10th, 2015. Mr. Copeland's 10:20:39 a.m. to 10:21 even, or 10:21:00 a.m. And this, I'd like you to focus on what you're talking about with Valerie told you that Jeffrey wanted to set you up. And you said that, yeah, but see, Valerie got in the car. She was like, hey, bro, I'm going to tell you something. Don't say nothing. You know what I mean? Like, what's up? She like, thug, this and that and that. And I'm like, detective said, no. And then you said, now I'm like, what you mean? And she like, don't trust this N, bruh. You know what I mean? He trying to set you up, talking about every time I go out, I got out of jail, something got shot up. Detective says, uh-huh. Can you listen to that for me?
All right.
Thank you.
But see, Valerie got in the car, she just like, hey bro, I'm gonna tell you something, don't say nothing. You know what I mean? I'm like, what's up? She's like, throw up that, this and that. I'm like, no, nah, what you mean? She like, but I don't trust this nigga, bro. You know what I mean? They really trying to set you up. That's why every time I got out of jail, son got shot up.
So you're saying every time you got out of jail, something got shot up. That's what you're telling the police, right?
That's what I told the police.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like.
And that Valerie told you don't trust Jeffrey. Remember that?
That's what I said.
Yeah. And did the police ever come to you, or did you get any information from Valerie or someone else at the police or the prosecution ever tried to verify that that conversation occurred with Valerie?
After this interview right here, I went to the feds probably like 2-3 weeks later. I haven't heard anything about this interview all the way up until they brought me in this trial.
Okay.
I haven't heard anything about no investigation all the way up until this trial.
Okay. To your knowledge, did the police or the prosecution ever just simply go to Valerie and say, did this happen?
Yeah, it's her. I don't know.
I'd like to show you what the prosecution showed you yesterday. It's State's Exhibit number 60W, as in wonderful, A as in Elisa. It's timestamp 208. Ms. Knight, do you mind helping me? Thank you. Do you remember seeing this yesterday, Mr. Copeland, this photograph that Ms. Hilton showed you?
Yeah.
And she said, and you verified that that's Valerie, remember that?
I think it's her.
How does, from your understanding, how does showing you State's Exhibit number 60WA verify that Valerie had a conversation with you in a car that don't trust Jeffrey?
Objection, Your Honor. Improper question, speculation,
I'm not asking to
Vague.
speculate.
vague.
Okay. Can you tell the jury, how showing you State's Exhibit 60WA verified anything that you said to the police on June 10th,
Objection.
2015?
Objection, vague, and it's the same question. Just reframed.
Sustained.
Besides that being a photograph or an image of a video, what does that picture mean to you that you were shown yesterday?
That she was dirty as hell back in the day.
Thank you, sir. All right. I'd like to go into JW24X as an X-ray. That State's Exhibit number 378YE as in Aaron, June 10, 2015, from 4:13:34 p.m. to 4:14:46 p.m. Specifically, Detective Dennis asked you, what does Birdman have to do with all of this? And you answered, Birdman's quiet. Detective Dennis said, he don't tell them to calm down. You said, Birdman, he don't talk in front of us. Detective Dennis said, he don't, you all like that? And you said, but he like, yeah, he right there, he talked to me a lot, but it don't be about nothing. Detective Dennis said, small talk? You said, yeah. What the H, this N talking about? Detective Dennis then I can't understand what he's saying. And then you say, it sound like it. Detective Dennis said, you think so? You said, I don't think he did it. I don't know. Detective Dennis said, so with all this stuff with Nut, what was his reaction to it? Meaning Birdman. You said, from me to you, he was trying to pay them to keep quiet. Detective Dennis asked you, pay who to keep quiet? You said them. Detective Dennis said, who is them? You said, Nuts folks. Detective Dennis said, oh, just go about their business? You said, yup. Detective Dennis, here, take this, shut the H-E-L-L up, leave it alone. You said, I think it was $200,000. Detective Dennis said, a payoff. You said, I heard that right in my own ears. Detective Dennis said, who he supposedly paid to? And you said, Fly. Detective Dennis said, who is Fly? You said, the man who owned the TIG. It's kind of a way y'all can just man, if you don't mind listening to this.
What does Birdman have to do with all this?
Birdman quiet.
He don't tell him to calm down?
Man, Birdman, nah, he don't want to talk for him.
He don't know y'all like that.
He won't be right there. He talk to me a lot, but it don't be about that. It's just
Small talk.
yeah. What the hell this nigga talking about?
Is he gay?
It sound like
You think so?
I don't think he is. I don't know.
So with all the stuff with Nut, what was his reaction to it?
From media, they were trying to pay them to keep quiet.
Pay who to keep quiet?
Damn.
Who is that?
Hey, folks.
Oh, let's go about that business.
Yeah.
Here, take this, shut the hell up, leave it alone.
I think it was 200,000.
Take out.
I heard that by my own ears.
Who he supposed to pay it to?
Fly.
Who's Fly?
The only person come talk to me is Miss Hill, but I can't. Like, she asked me, have I heard some calls? She let me hear the calls. Like, I don't recall her asking me specific questions.
Okay. I'd like to play for you Jeffrey Williams 244A as in Lisa. It's a January 28th,
You show? Nah, I'll tell you who just got shot the other night.
Oh, in the car over
Yeah.
there? Okay.
He had 25,000 hair take you up.
Who did?
This Rich on the corner shit. Cause he was telling me. So I'm telling Rich on the corner like, but
and then
Right.
they know, you believe, they know this is all just try to make them, give them something they need to let you go. Right?
Objection be speculation.
That's what you're doing. Don't speculate about anyone else. That's what you're doing, right?
They know that. Dennis know it. Gaither know it.
For when you got into that fight at Club Crucial, you know what I'm talking about? When Shell Cal and other people jumped on you with your eye. You know what I'm talking about?
You know I know what you're talking about.
Okay. So before that date, before January 6, 2015, you stole from Mr. Donovan Thomas's Tahoe vehicle his cellular telephone, his identification, his chain, his nut chain, and his wallet. Is that true?
I gave it back to him.
Okay. I'm going to get there, I promise you. And what happened was Mr. Donovan Thomas called his own cell phone and you answered it and made arrangements to give him back his property. Fair to say?
Sound like that.
And when he came to get his property, he came with other people in other cars, right?
Sound like that.
And they had guns.
Objection, assuming facts not in evidence.
Well, he's asking the question of whether Mr. Copeland knows, so I'll overrule that.
What going on?
Did they have guns that you saw?
Yeah.
And shortly after that, you learned that Donovan Thomas and others were going to hurt you. True?
Objection, improper character of the victim.
Sustained.
You knew that Donovan Thomas and others made statements that you heard that they were going to hurt you.
Objection, Your Honor, assuming facts not in evidence and improper character evidence.
Sustained.
I want you to listen. This is JW 240AA. Elisa detective says, you mean right? And you said, I put it on my mama's soul. I mean it. I want you to listen to this, okay?
I promise I'm gonna back out from next. I mean, I'm find out. Like I said, man, if they was to keep me out of jail and if y'all can help me, man, I promise you, you gonna throw up, Birdman, Kid Tate, and one of them, I'm gonna go right there and do what I have to do. Like, I'm good with anybody. Like, you know, all this shit going on. I mean, it was 2015, 1:16 p.m. You mean that, right? I put on my own soul out there.
Now, did you hear Detective Gaither say June 10, 2015, 1:16 p.m.? You mean that right? And you said, I put on my mama's soul. She's saying that what you said, that you're going to help them. You'll do anything to get out of jail, right?
Right.
Okay. I want to go back in time, same day, but this is going to be 9:45 a.m., so about 4 hours before, 3 hours before. This is JW 240B as in Barry, B as in Barry, States Exhibit number 378, YE as in Aaron. And this is 9:45, 19 a.m. to 9:48, 39 a.m. And it's Detective Cunning, not detective, Special Agent with the ATF, Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, Explosive, Cunningham. She's a female, and she says, and I want you to make sure that it's accurate, she says, okay, I need you to listen. You know you're a felon. You know that you got a gun today, so you can't even dispute that. I don't even want you to try because you're just going to be wasting my time and yours too. And let me finish. You said no, and there's overlapping conversation, meaning multiple people speaking. The ATF agent Cunningham says, me and investigator Gaither, but the gun today, the one we found today in the apartment, meaning when you were arrested from your apartment on June 10, 2015. You said, uh-huh. ATF agent Cunningham said, now, when it comes to the federal system, it's not you go, when you go, do your time, there's no parole, there is no what it is. And then Detective Gaither says, early release. And then Agent Cunningham says, no early release. you may get good behavior, but that's only like you get nothing. And they typically don't let you stay in Atlanta. They might ship you off somewhere clear across the country. So whatever you do, and then you say, darn, but you said a different word, my head hurt. Agent Cunningham said, I'll go back and tell the United States attorney that's assigned to this case, this is what he did to help himself out. It pans out. Or I can go back and tell her, this is what he said. We found out it was a lie. He's continuing to play games. The judge do what they want to do. So, before we can even get started, especially while I'm sitting here, everything is on you. Because I've never